Some moments are seared into memory. Where you were, who you were with, what you were drinking. For me, that moment was September 11th, 2001. I was in Jakarta at a hotel bar, decompressing after a long day at a travel trade show. Then everything stopped.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
The Twin Towers, the silence, the shock, the panic. This defining moment for the world also turned out to be the defining moment for online travel.
This event happened that had a dramatic impact on the world. At that time, a number of the particularly US airlines and hotel groups had gone in pretty deep with websites. They were pretty well invested. And what happened after 9/11 was that everybody in the US who had travel plans, they were all disrupted. All flights stopped. Nobody could move. If you wanted to get from A to B, you had to rent a car. The car rentals were flooded. But more importantly, the telephone lines just melted down. So if you were trying to call Delta or United or Marriott or Hilton or whatever, you were waiting for hours. And then people realized that with some of those carriers and some of those hotel groups, you could actually go on their website. And they went on their website and they found, I can find my booking on here and I can actually change my booking or get a refund or whatever it was they wanted to do, make a new booking. They could do it on the web. And people like that a lot more than sitting on the phone talking to a customer service agent. So, 9/11 was an incredibly sad and negative event. But for the online travel industry, it was like a rocket booster.
It was also a defining moment for Expedia. In 2001, Barry Diller's IAC had bought Expedia, and the agreement had been signed and ready to go when September 11th happened.
They actually had the agreement signed and ready to go, ready to be executed when September 11th happened in 2001. And Barry Diller now famously within Expedia said because they were saying, we should walk away from this, Barry. This is, not the industry you want to be in right now. And he said, where there's life, there's travel. And that has guided us as a company for a long time. That's guided me because where there's life, there's travel. This industry is resilient.
The other thing that sticks into my mind, interestingly, once you get old and you watch things, is the turning points of tragedy in an industry. On reflection, we can look, for instance, to 9/11 and the attacks on America as a turning point in online travel. What happened, and I think it's well known during that time, travel was grounded across America and most of the Northern Hemisphere and other parts of the world as a result. There was a panic that the world had changed. It did. And that caused a ripple effect in accommodation. And the ripple effect in accommodation is a lot of hoteliers were seeking channels to expand, and they lent into the mobile channel. Now, I think that would have happened by itself anyway, but I think there's clear evidence that 9/11 accelerated the leaning in of hotels to the online channel, which accelerated online travel.
The age of online travel had begun. As the US market adapted, Asia was just beginning to stir. The internet's tendrils were reaching our shores. But online travel? Less than 6% of bookings in Asia Pacific were made online around 2003. And even in 2009, when Focusrite did a fuller market study, the share was just at 17.4% of a total travel market value of $240 billion. And yet, opportunity was everywhere. 5 billion people, rising middle class, fast mobile growth, ancient civilizations, modern ambitions.
These early days of online travel also coincided with the early days of mobile. And there was a type of technology lovingly referred to as WAP, which had a different meaning in 2000 to what I think it means culturally now. It had a meaning of wireless application protocol. And it was the very early instances of mobile on feature phones. So how do you do the mobile internet on a phone that is just text-based? And it took the world by storm for about 6 months until everyone could see that it was completely unusable. And we had to wait another 7 years, 8 years until the birth of the iPhone before we truly got a shot at mobile. But those early days of mobile, I suppose those early days of mobile proved something for us in travel. That what can seem like overnight, i.e. mobile, can take 7 years to happen.
It's worth repeating. What can seem like overnight can take 7 years to happen. Well, some of the entrepreneurs here weren't going to wait either 7 or 20 years. The outsiders, the misfits, the believers. Not travel people, techies, financiers, ex-bankers. They were watching Expedia, watching Booking, watching the wait, and they weren't going to wait. In China, James Liang and friends launched Ctrip out of Shanghai in 1999. In India, Deep Kalra gave up on bowling alleys and rolled the dice on MakeMyTrip with 3 friends. It was, as Deep calls it, a trial by fire.
2000 to 2005 was trial by fire for us. It was really hard. We were focused on the non-resident Indian market, which was a small market. .com bust happened in 2001. VCs wanted their money back, did a distressed buyout, became management-held company, and somehow survived. I think there were a few years where we could have shut down any point of time. Most of the time, we didn't have more money than making 2 months of payroll and 2 months of rent. So those were crazy times, but I think those crazy and tough times really prepare you for the worst. More the heat and more the beating you take, the tougher you become. I think that's kind of our story. So we could withstand the rest better. 2005, I did feel that the India market is opening up, was ready for an online travel venture where people were ready not just to research online, but actually to book online, to drop their credit card online with the full assurance and comfort that this is a real thing. We galloped ahead till 2010 when we IPO'd.
The band of brothers were taking on China and India and blazing the trail.